I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. Hello, beautiful. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Breathe. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dr. Tracy Gibson, and as always, I'm your host of Breathe. And I'm just here today to just talk about progression over perfection. You know, if you are anything like me, yes, you have a personality that is sort of a perfectionist, right? And you want things to go a certain way, you expect things to look a certain way, present a certain way. And please don't think that I'm going to take away from the spirit of excellence or hard work when we're talking about progression over perfection today. But what I want to hit on is helping us just escape some of the anxiety of being perfect or having perfection tends to bring us, right? And anybody out there knows that it does. If you think that anxiety does not come with wanting to be perfect or expecting perfection, then you're first lying to yourself. And as a therapist, I'm going to throw that at you today, right in your face as we start. We're going hard in that direction today, right? So when we talk about perfection, oftentimes we're talking about even wearing masks. We're talking about masking the trueness of something. We're talking about masking the expectations of something, or even masking who we are when we talk about presenting perfection. Now, again, I'm not taking away from the spirit of excellence, because anybody that knows me knows that I believe in presenting things with excellence. Okay? So I'm not talking about not presenting things with excellence, not being even excellent in your life or expecting excellence in your life. I'm not talking about that. But today I'm talking about a perfection that drives us into anxiety. It drives us into a place of nothing is ever good enough. Nothing is ever quite right. And it drives us into a place sometimes of even being ungrateful. Yes. It drives us into a place of being unappreciative at times. And so, what do you mean by progression over perfection? I want to be able to look at progression as a pathway, right? I want you to be able to look at progression representing those moments in between milestones, right? Okay. So progression is more being transparent. It's the total opposite. When we are looking at the progression of how things are moving versus the perfection of it being perfect or getting to perfection, it's that transparent or being, transparent versus being masked, having a mask on, having a falsehood on, right? Because nothing can be perfect at all times. Nothing can be perfect. The only perfect thing is God. The only perfect thing is God. And I'm not going to go down into, what is it, Matthew 5:48 at the end of the Beatitudes chapter, when it talks about us being perfect like God and walking in that perfection. That's a lifestyle. That's talking about a lifestyle. It's talking about a progression into becoming God-like, Christ-like. And then we could go on and we could talk about we shall be perfect when we are transformed and transcended. So I'm not going in that direction, but what I'm going in is a progression where you're able to calm yourself and move in a place where you don't harp on your flaws, you don't harp on the not enoughs, you don't see yourself even as not enough, but looking at progression. That's why oftentimes you'll see us at Fresh Start, we talk about becoming your best self, right? Because that's a progression, it's a path, it's a progress, it's process, right? And that's what progress is. It's a process, it's a path. It's being transparent that I am working toward becoming my best self. Like even in weight goals, when we're trying to lose weight, it's a process. It's a pathway to getting where we want to go, where we would like to be, what we see as ideal. You know, I would even like to change that word perfection and perfect to ideal, because what's perfect to you is not perfect to me. So what is ideal for me may not be ideal for you. And what we have to also think about too, ladies, is what's ideal at one point in our life is not ideal for another point. And for those that know me, I like to work in seasons. So when we talk about points, is not what's ideal at one season in your life is not ideal for another season in your life, right? When I was 22, I was physically fit. I was an athlete. I was getting ready to go in the military, and I was physically fit at 118 pounds at 5'6.5", right? At 5'6.5", at 50 years old, that is not ideal for me. It may be ideal for the medical community, but that's not ideal for where I am in my life, what I've experienced in my life, what my body is capable of doing at this moment in my life. And so my ideal or my perfection does not look like what it looked like back in that season of my life. I'm going to let you marinate on that. And so it's a progress, it's a process to get to what I feel or what I can perceive is ideal for me at this moment and in this season and in this process of my life. Right? Right. So if you think about perfection, and I think I can't remember I read this, but it's like endless because you never really get there, right? It's endless. But with progress, if I set a goal and I watch and I measure my progress towards that goal, it's maybe not endless because I'm constantly doing it. Watch this. But I'm always able to get there to a goal. I'm always able to achieve a goal in that process instead of looking for that perfection. That's why a lot of people, when they're working, say you got an overall goal of losing weight. We're going to lose weight today. We're going to use that as an example. You have this overall goal of losing weight, but in that process of getting to that overall goal, there are process steps, there are measures. Every time I lose 5 pounds, I've made progress. But if I'm a person who's always looking at perfection, I'm never looking at that ideal moment that I am 5 pounds lighter than I was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I become frustrated, and then it becomes not enough, right? It becomes a flaw. It becomes an anxiety for me. And I'm just using that as an example. But you can put this towards anything that's going on in your life. Rebuilding relationships, moving forward in our careers, becoming better mothers, or what ideal is a better mother for me with my children, right? Because what my neighbor's ideal thing is with her children is not maybe what's ideal for me. But progress represents the in-between moments, those milestones, those improvements that I'm working toward and everything. And with progress being a path, it's striving for something, meaning I'm relentless. I'm able to be growing and evolving and improving. Where and it says something about me because none of us have arrived. I don't care what somebody's told you, what somebody shared. There's not one of us that has arrived to any type of place where we don't need to improve, where we don't need to grow, where we don't need to evolve. And when we look at perfection as the overall achievement, we say to ourselves, I've made it. I've improved to the fullness. But we're steady growing. We're steady becoming. When we focus too much on perfection, it causes us to worry about every step to get there. Whether when I am focusing on perfection, right? It limits my criticism. It limits my way I look at myself to say I'm a failure. And it helps me tackle roadblocks a lot different when I'm looking at progression instead of perfection. Again, I'm not telling anybody not to reach for excellence in your life. Please do. Please, whatever excellence and the ideal place is for you, reach for that. But what I'm saying is strive to look at the progress you've made. Strive to stop and look at the growth you've obtained. I often work with some clients who are my procrastinators and who are my perfectionists. And I have them to work backwards. You know, we love setting, and you've heard me say this before probably on some of the vlogs or either some of the podcasts, that we love setting goals for the day, these to-do tasks, what I'm going to accomplish in a week, what I'm going to accomplish at the end of this day. And then we go back and we're frustrated because we have not accomplished all of it. That is a part of anxiety that causes us to strive for a level of perfection. How about you work backwards? And even if you set a to-do list, don't look at what you didn't accomplish, but at the end of the day, write down all the things you accomplished for the day, all the things you accomplished for the week, and then praise yourself on it. Give yourself, when I was doing a weight loss thing, one of the things that I did with the group we were doing in a ministry group we were doing, and I would tell them, don't try to, look at your overall, but stop again and look at those 5 pounds that you lost. And then say to yourself, I'm going to reward myself for those 5 pounds. Now, I'm not saying go out and hit every food truck that you see, or eat every dessert that you see. But what I'm saying is, if you like shoes like I do, buy yourself a new pair of shoes. Splurge and buy some new earrings at the end of those 5 pounds. And the same thing works for anything else that's going on in your life. Stop. At the end of a progress, I will tell a client, stop at the end of a progress that you made, that you set for yourself, or what you see you've accomplished, and reward yourself. Affirm yourself. Speak positivity to yourself. But the one thing you don't want to do is constantly look at what we haven't accomplished, what we haven't finished. That goes for those. I'm speaking to somebody out there that you just said yesterday or today, I am blankety blank years old and I have not accomplished everything that I thought I would accomplish. Don't do that. Stop and look at what you have accomplished in those blankety blank years, right? Focus. Focus shifts. It shifts the possibilities of what you can do and where you can go. Shift your focus. Shift your focus to the progress and not the perfection. It's a very handy tool that we often use when we're working with substance abuse and people who have other addictions like shopping addictions or eating disorders. It's looking at the progress and not the perfection. Listen, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Breathe. Ooh, I'm glad that I was able to make that through and not lose my voice and not cough too much. It's an accomplishment for me. I'm looking at the progress and not the perfection. And so I hope that you will join me in this new adventure and look at the progress that you're making and not the perfection. And take a moment to breathe this week and enjoy all that you are becoming, because you are working towards becoming your best self. Again, if you like to see more topics or you like to learn more about Fresh Start for Her, please feel free to inbox us on one of our social media platforms or send us an email directly, and we'll address those topics. Or if you're looking for a therapy referral, please reach out and we will make that referral for you in the states that we cover, which is Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina. We do some work in Alabama. It's just not clinical right now. And I also want to announce as I close out, some of you and most of you have seen that we are not doing or not asking or seeking out new clients at this time and don't have the capability, because we are full. We are full. I am so excited that so many people are excited about their therapeutic journey, about their mental health, about having great mental health and becoming their best self. And so we're full, but we are still here to give you referrals and help you become the best you. So again, thank you for joining us, and I appreciate it. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.